Hope you're having a great day. I'm going to be doing the rest of the weapons that I was starting with, this being about one-handed weapons and offhand weapons. But I want to quickly just show that this mod has so much more to offer than weapons, just in case someone who's watching has never tried or used the mod before. There's a lot of placeables and decorations, as well as the option of armor, accessories, and clothing that you won't see on the mod page itself, and more. I hope you find the showcase useful. Okay, so now I'm going to be showing a knife. We're going to go with the knife first. I have 2 and 3 are strikers. They're both the same type. The dagger just looks like a dagger, which is pretty cool. And that's why I'm going to use it too, just for the aesthetic, but it doesn't change anything.
Are you sure about that?
The 4th one, however, is a throwing knife. The combo for the knife is about 6 hits. 3, 4, 5, 6. Very fast and responsive too. It feels very powerful. Just like that. Now, the heavy strikes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. A lot of stabs and thrusts. Okay. And the offhand ability is literally just the backwards handstand, so even if you do it in a combo, it's not changing. It'll just be a dodge, just like it has been for the dual daggers. So with that in mind, if you combo from the light to heavy, you get the heavy finisher. There's no alternating combos on this weapon. It's not like the other weapons, how you can flow combos. As soon as you hit the heavy button from the light combo, it's done. So if you want to stab them, which does give you the bleed every single time, that's the only reason you're going to be doing that. The light attacks do not seem to have any side effects. I think the finisher right there just did a cripple though. So the only thing you're going to get is a cripple, unless you're hitting those heavies. So that's basically the end of that weapon. It's not very complex. If you do the heavy combo, you can go into the light, of course, as well. I did say there's no alternating, but I was a little incorrect. If you do heavies, you can continue the... Okay, no, I'm not incorrect. It just does a light finisher. So you can do heavies into a light finisher or lights into a heavy finisher. Your choice. And I would probably prefer the heavy combos if I'm doing damage for that bleed. Okay, now let's go to the more interesting part, which is where you can equip one-handed weapons like the knife with offhand weapons from the mod. The 2 I'm going to show you are strikers. The striker is the description for these little shields. In this case, there's a dagger too, but the shield. It says it allows you to stun an enemy with the offhand bash. So the offhand attack for the striker is that. 1, 2. So basically shield attacks. Now if I were to do a light attack and press offhand, it just does the regular offhand combo. If I do light offhand into more lights, you can continue. So you can actually infinitely alternate between them like that. Now the heavy stabs into it is basically the same thing. So the striker actually gives you a chance to kind of keep the combo going, where originally it couldn't, like I explained and showed. But in this case, with this weapon, you can kind of just keep throwing out an attack if you have the stamina. And that's the purpose of the striker. Now with this dagger striker, I just got it for fun. It's supposed to emulate a dagger. And honestly, it's a powerful weapon. It actually applies a poison. But if you actually equip the throwing daggers, which is an offhand,
wow,
you actually will equip 2 daggers, again, just like the fake dagger from the striker on number 3. But this one is real. Now, if you do heavy attacks, you actually get different animations. And your left-hand attacks don't exactly change, but you get a better finisher, easier to land. And your offhand attack is, of course, throwing. But you can throw into attacks. Honestly, I find a lot of these weapons to be pretty fun and pretty cool to use, that you can fight in different ways. Alright, so the Gladius is an agility-based weapon, it seems, and for the light attacks, they're really quick, and they kind of chain infinitely, but there seems to be technically a finisher. That's what's applying that bleed. It's the 4th strike, I think. 4. Yep. That's when the weapon turns red. Alright. And for heavy, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And the 5th hit applied cripple. Let's see if it applied bleed. Oh, they all apply bleed, okay. So every strike on the heavy does bleed. The last one applies cripple. And it's a pretty cool jump. Okay, so if I do heavy into light, it just does what normally the heavy finisher does, which is does a leap. That's pretty interesting. If I do lights into heavy, and of course the sandstorm's interrupting me, going on. Heavies into lights go into a jumping finisher, so I think from a distance that would be pretty useful. Yes, literally could actually initiate with a heavy into light. That's pretty cool. Now the offhand doesn't do much, it just pushes back. I think that's a lot if you want to push the enemy away. It doesn't knock them down though. But I think that would be interesting to push off an enemy and see what that does to their AI. Maybe you could actually just start attacking them before they come back at you. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty simple weapon. But just like the knife, you can equip it with an offhand. If I put the striker in it, and I use the offhand attack, so you're going to basically just keep doing these shield bashes in the middle of your strikes. If you want a little variation from just Gladius, then you can play a proper gladiator, and you have some shield bashing you could do. And if you equip a throwing weapon with the Gladius, I don't think the animations actually change for this weapon. No. So for this, you're just going to have the privilege of being able to use the throwing weapon at any time, instead of the push, which I think is a reasonable thing. So basically, you can pick up an offhand to go with this. And of course, we're not even using vanilla shields. In this case, I haven't even thought of that. But since I did, I'm going to go ahead and spawn a shield and see what that does. Okay. Wow, I have never even thought of using the vanilla shields with the knife. But yes, in this case, you do get to change a combo just like you would with the regular weapons. The light combo doesn't change at all, but you can block. And for the heavy combo, you get a shield bash on the second, and it looks like 450. Yeah, it looks like it doesn't bleed. That could be seen as a bad thing. Normally, without the shield, you would be bleeding on every single attack, but with the shield, you get, you know, an attack, but it's not going to get you the 5 bleed stacks, only 3. However, since you have the shield in your hand, I guess it's a good thing, since you can actively block at any time. So, whatever you feel like doing. Now we have the longsword. 3, 4 light attacks for the combo. And looks like it only applied 1 bleed at the very end for the finisher of that light attack. Bad. Yep. Alright, and the heavies. 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw 4 cripple pop up and no bleed. So this heavy combo chain is going to be crippling the opponent. Lots of slowdown. 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course you knock them down to the ground, which is also great. And if you alternate, you can do 2 lights into 2 heavies, or 2 heavies into 2 lights, etc. Now the offhand attack does the same thing as a Gladius. You're pushing them off the shoulder check. And if you try to combo it, you do heavy into that. It actually does kind of technically combo. You're not able to go into a finisher off the offhand, but you can go from a strike into the offhand. And then, of course, if you equip a striker with the weapon, fail the this time, you get those bashes, you put a dagger with it, a throwing weapon, and you get a slightly different heavy attack, actually. This is just like the 2 knives. You get the knockdown and bleed on that heavy. Okay. And with a regular shield, you get a shield knockdown. You already knocked down normally with that heavy, so that didn't really change anything. And the light attack doesn't get changed. So having a shield doesn't really create a huge change in the way you play. It just creates the, I don't know, maybe the illusion that it's different. I think it's cool to have the shield at least, but it doesn't seem to really change much. Now, it just depends. Do you prefer to have the shoulder push, or do you prefer to be able to block? Either way, the longsword looks really cool. I like that the blade is held over the shoulder. I think it's definitely a better way to play it than a regular sword, just for the aesthetic. Alright, so we have the rapier here. Rapier sounds like an agility weapon, and it is. And the lights are basically very fast and infinite looping, and that's a lot of bleed. I don't think every swing is doing bleed. Let me see. One. Nope, the first one doesn't. The second one does. The third one doesn't. It's only the second and fourth. Then you have the heavies. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it does finish. The lights don't have a finisher, like I said. It's a 4-hit animation, but they don't stop. But if I go into the heavy from it, I get a stab. Let's do 1 light, 2 heavy. Okay, now we're comboing. 1 light, heavy, heavy, heavy. So it seems to go with the flow of the number. So if you start with this first light, let's say 2 lights, we should be able to do 2 heavies. Yep. So basically, it depends on what animation you're on. If you're swinging, what I've noticed is when you swing down with the rapier, it's your 3rd hit, and the 4th is the final hit. So if I swing down, I should be able to do the heavy ones, which is correct. Now the offhand quote-unquote attack has a nice backdash. And from that, you can begin attacking it. There's no weapon attack from it that gives you a huge amount of distance. The heavy is the best you get. It does bring you forward just enough that you could hit something right in front of you if you backdash. So yeah, you could backdash with the offhand attack back into it. So there are no offhand combos with this weapon. Basically, it's from heavy to light, light to heavy. Now, if you do heavy into light, you get what I just did, which is another backdash where you strike the ground. Reminds you of Monster Hunter with the longsword, if anyone remembers that. It's pretty cool that they have an input like that. So if you're heavying into light, you can get away that way and come right back in. But because of that, you can't alternate as much as you would like to. Not unless you're going from light to heavy. Now, if I equip the thrown weapon with the rapier, they're wielded as dual wield. You stab 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it becomes a true stabbing weapon when equipped with a throwing knife. That's pretty cool. Now, light attacks don't change very much as usual, but you do get the option to throw as usual. So basically, throwing knife equals stabs on the heavies and throw. And you can still do the backdash even without the offhand dash, because if you're heavy into light, you still have that. And you can still throw the weapon right after doing so as well. Now, if you equip the striker with the rapier, it doesn't change your heavies, which is what I would expect. And you still, of course, have the option, though, to use that striking weapon to change your combos for you from heavy, strike, into light. Alright, so that's a pretty great weapon with those combinations. You can go from fencing with just the rapier itself to a fencer with a little shield, or you can go full on with the dagger. Alright, here's a quick showing of the rapier with a regular shield. You get 2 little shield bashes. It feels like it wasn't really meant to be used. Oh, actually, let me not say that. You get a lot of sunder with it. Okay, so if you use the rapier with the regular shield from vanilla, you get a sundering, bleeding weapon. So I was going to say something to the liking that I didn't enjoy using it, but maybe this is actually best if you're using a weak weapon like the rapier when it comes to the health damage. It has low armor penetration. The shield can help, especially with enemies like the rock monsters, what I forgot what they're called. I think the big one's called Rock Slide. All those guys. Okay, so now we're taking a look at the short blade. The short blade is basically the same as the short sword. Well, it's a variant of it. And these are the light attacks. The 4th light attack is the one that occurs after the stabbing animation, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. and it just keeps going on and on. I think that's just like the short sword. Now the right click, oh sorry, the heavy, that's the first strike, second, third, fourth, and on again, just like the lights. Now if you go from heavy to light, you get this. So you can just start stabbing it up, then bleed them. If you go from light to heavy, you just go into the combo. So once again, heavy into light gives you the finisher. No matter what heavy you're on, as soon as you start, you'll start stabbing. Besides that, there is no combo finisher unless you do that. So you could just kind of keep going until you decide to hit the light after heavy, or if you want to just go infinitely light the enemy, you can do so. Now if you hit the offhand button or block button, it has you backdash. You could poke, hit, backdash, come back in, backdash, maybe run, come back, strike. It's a pretty fast weapon, just like the short sword is kind of meant to be in vanilla, but I think it's a little bit faster than the short sword. The short sword's offhand has a little slashing animation that makes you dodge a little slower, whereas this one just literally hops backwards. So it's a pretty fast weapon. I think it's good for that. It doesn't really have anything important change-wise whenever you equip the shield from vanilla, so the shields don't give you any new combos or anything. The only thing that changes is that you can block instead of backdash, so the only reason you would do that is you really prefer to block, but it seems pointless for this weapon. The Striker, on the other hand, has a purpose, because normally if you heavy into light, it ends your combo, but you can use the offhand of the Striker to continue light comboing, rather than canceling it with the stabs. So you can create a more consistent combo stream with the Strikers that way. You could also cancel the stabs with the backdash, I think. Okay, no. I think the Striker lets you combo in that. Yep. So if you're stabbing, you can actually cancel the stabs with the Striker. The vanilla shield, like I said, does not offer any changes like that. You can actually block though. So if you start stabbing your opponent, you can block to stop it. So I guess it's kind of like the Striker, but more defensive. Okay, so I currently have a short spear. This is a one-handed short spear. It's like a javelin, actually. Except, unlike the javelin, it's not throwable.
What?
So it's like what the javelin would be if it was an actual one-handed spear instead of two-handed.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It appears to be a strength weapon. And let's look at the combos. These are going to be the light attacks. 2, 3, 4. Yep. A lot of pokes, straightforward, and it seems to do some cripple. Now we're gonna do the heavy chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. It did 3 bleed, and it looks like 2 cripple. I believe the light chain also did 2 cripple. I'll do it one more time to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 cripple. Now the offhand attack for this short spear. If I do light into that, it's like that. Ooh, let's see that. That's the second heavy. So the offhand attack leads into the second attack for the heavy. And the second attack for the light. Okay. So I guess you can always reset your attacks with it too. Yep. Basically, offhand attack is a nice little pushback, but it also keeps your combo from finishing, since it brings you back to the third attack of the combo. And really, that's it for the complexity of the weapon. Now, other than that, equipping it with a shield does what? Wow. 2 bleed, 3 cripple, and a sunder with the shield activated while using heavies. Okay, now the lights with the shield. Absolutely no change. As usual, I believe no changes ever happen to the light combo when dual wielding the shield, and now I'm going to be using a throwing knife from the mod. Now the heavies for it. Not a single change. Not at all. Now I'm going to be using Striker. No changes to the combos, but the Striker does give you the offhand attack. It seems like for the mod sake, for the throwing knife and the Striker, they don't actually change the combo for this weapon, but you get the, of course, offhand attacks from the weapons. In this case, it's this, which is pretty brutal, honestly. I think it's pretty crazy that you can just keep smacking. Okay, we have a Warmace, one-handed mace, and for this one I chose the one that's called a Wizard's Warmace because it looks cool. They don't actually only come looking like this. I just chose it because it's pretty cool having like a sorcery or magic-based weapon, so I decided to roll with it. It's a one-handed weapon. Here's the light attack combo. Re-cripple. Okay, now the heavy. Okay. Hold on. I need to do that again. 4 cripple and 4 sunder. Let me make sure I saw that correctly. Wow. So, 4 cripple, 4 sunder on the heavies, and a knockdown. Massive. Now the offhand attack. Oh, the tackle again. To note, the tackle also stacks sunder. I guess I haven't noticed that. It might be the same for all the weapons that have the tackle. That is actually a pretty important note. Okay. So, if it's like the other weapons, then you can just reset your attacks with it. The tackle brings you back to the second attack, was it? Let's see. 2, 3, 4. I cannot count. Hold on. Or maybe this is different than the spear. Oh, so the tackle on this weapon brings you back to the start of the combo. So it's a brand new combo every time. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Shortspear shoulder bash tackle was giving me only to the second part of the combo. Second hit, I think. Okay. Now with the shield, let's see what it does. Oof. Actually, probably not even intentional. I'm not sure if they designed it that way, but that combo doesn't even connect the heavies. And it does the same exact status effects anyway. Boom, boom. Yeah. The shield does this little thrust and it clearly misses, so the shield is not doing so good so far. Uh-oh. Light combo to see if that's changed. As usual, no. So that's really it, and that's not so good. Now, the throwing knife. Let's see the heavy. Cool, the animations are different. It looks like 5 cripple and 3 sunder. It's a little interesting. So, another cripple. Let's make sure I'm not crazy, but I don't think I'm crazy. It looks like more hits as well. It's probably more damage. 5 cripple, 3 sunder, and you get like the dual daggers type strike, or like it would be when a knife and the throwing knife are equipped together. So that's pretty cool. I broke my throwing knives. Uh-oh. Alright, Striker. Heavy. Well, this one is going to just be the same as the short spear and all the other weapons with the Striker. Just beat them down. There's no other change to it. Honestly, I'm not sure why I keep showing the Striker at this point. It's basically the same thing for every weapon. But yeah, that's the Warmace. So now I'm about to check out the club. So we have a club here. One-handed club. So I guess it's like the mace. But let's see how it looks or what's different about it. Here's the light combo. Okay, so it doesn't stop. You can just kind of go, boom. That's the final hit, by the way. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, continuous lights. Okay, and there's no effects on the lights either. Now the heavy. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2. Oh wow. Another continuous combo chain, both combo chains. Now let's see, I can Something I forgot to try on the other weapons, but that's okay. I might go back and do that. So I'm gonna do heavy, light, heavy, light, light, heavy, light, heavy. So yeah, you could just go between heavy and lights effortlessly in this weapon. There's no true finisher. The combos just keep going. The tackle, shoulder check again. Sunder and cripple, and then shoulder check. Oh, that's different. After the offhand attack, you get a jumping heavy to close the distance. On the light, you don't get a special attack after the shoulder check. It's just the same light starter. But on a shoulder check, you get the jumping heavy. Yeah, this weapon's pretty smooth. Now with the shield, does it keep that smoothness? Wait a second. Does it normally knock down? No. So with the shield, you get a knockdown. Nah, I think it's about the same. With the shield, it's 4 sunder, 2 cripple. With the club and the throwing knife, heavy. Does bleed, some sunder and cripple. Not as much sunder anymore, but it does bleed. That's pretty cool. Alright. Not a bad weapon, one-handed club. I'd have to actually try it out in combat, but the fact that it's got such, well, I would say fast swings, but mostly fluid, just never-ending combo strings. I guess if you have the advantage in stamina, seems pretty crazy, especially if you can just get a lot of damage on this weapon. Like, this is just an iron club, but with max damage, I think I'd like it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you've been finding it useful. The reason I really wanted to do these videos is because I love mods, and I was going to do my own little video for myself, but I decided to just do one because why not? Hopefully you guys could find it useful, and once again, thank you for watching, and stay tuned if you like it because I'll be doing more content in the future. Stay safe and take care of yourself.
Start tripping, now I'm blue. Niggas, man, I can't win for losing cause I got too many haters, man. Used to be the paper boy, grew up now I'm mega man. Player 1, player 2, show your ass what players do. Up, down, left, right, hit her with a strong attack. Yeah, I smoke the strongest back. Tell me what is wrong with that. More coins in the laundromat, you can't help but honor that. Jam man, mega man, more games than the Sega man.